Story main character is Yansuk. His classmates used to bully and beat him every day. He goes home and complains about changing the school by yelling at his mother, and takes out all of his frustration on his mother. The next day, he is bullied again in school and gets beaten up a lot. But in the meantime, his mom tries to save him, but he screams at his mom and drives her away. His mom comes home and tells him that she came to school for his admission and got his admission done somewhere else. But he has to stay there alone because his mom can't leave the job. Soon, Yansuk shifts to his new room. He is very happy to see the new city, but his luck. He gets shocked after bumping into an unknown girl because she was apologizing to him. He gets a little confidence by seeing new and good people, but Yansuk's luck was bad. The girl's boyfriend comes and beats her up a lot. Her recordings go viral on social media. Poor Yansuk. But Yansuk doesn't know what's going to happen to her. Neither do you. That night, when Yansuk wakes up, he finds himself in someone else's body, in a smart and dashing guy's body. But after a while, when he finds out that he is himself in someone else's body, he takes advantage of it. And what was to happen? As soon as he goes to school, Yansuk comes to school news the very first day. Every girl was crazy about Yansuk. There were only Yansuk's talks in the class. His face has changed, not his luck. Yansuk finds out that the guy next to him is the same guy who beat him up a day ago. The so-called cold digger of the class, Zoe Park, also hits on Yansuk. She asks Yansuk why he took up fashion designing, but how would they know? Yansuk's previous school marks were so low that he couldn't get anything else. But like every insecure guy, Yansuk lied and said that he likes fashion designing. That same day, Yansuk found out that not only his face, but he has also become a good athlete. But as soon as he falls asleep, he comes into his old body. He took advantage of this and got a job at a departmental store. Because, dude, you can't get full from just looking at your face. At first, the shopkeeper wasn't giving him a job. But after a lot of struggle, he finally got a job. But luck is on his side. Zach Lee and some of his punters come and beat up Yansuk a lot because his name was being named after his classmate Yansuk. What do they know? He's the same Yansuk. The poor guy gets beaten up again, and for his insurance, they keep a picture of him. The next day, Yansuk sees that those people are making fun of him, and they are saying bad things about his mother. After hearing this, Yansuk gets very angry, and he fights with Zach on this. In the beginning, he thinks that he is going to get beaten up badly, and everyone around him seems to stop him. But no, there was a fire between the two boys. Yansuk dodges the punch and knocks Zach down in one punch, whose story makes him famous in the whole school. Now everyone was crazy about Yansuk. The next day, a guy named Sihao started stealing charges in Yansuk's store. But his brother's luck is also bad. He finds out that 3 people are bullying him, and he forces them to fight each other. But here comes the second hero, Basco. Basco is not a common guy. He is the leader of the Burning Knuckle Gang, and he takes a very good class of these punters. Now, Yansuk's bad luck started coming on good Yansuk. The next day, Basco comes to the cafeteria and takes a matter from Yansuk. He thinks that Yansuk is a very bad guy. Even after Basco is so powerful, Yansuk takes care of him alone, which makes everyone's pants tight. Bumjay calms down the fight between the two, because he understands that Yansuk treats Basco very well. After the fight, the punters of Zach invite Yansuk to the party, where there is a lot of trouble after going. He tells them about his room partner, who misinterprets him, and he thinks that he is a gangster. While talking, they start laughing at Yansuk and Ziho's fight video, on which Yansuk gets angry and breaks the phone, and gets unconscious. And here, Fat Yansuk immediately runs to get himself back, where they ask him, but he does something. After which Zach teaches Yansuk to punch, and sets the highest score of the machine. After seeing the score, Basco gets confused. He thinks that Fat Yansuk has done this to the machine, and the thin Yansuk is taking advantage of the fat Yansuk. After a few days, Yansuk's mom comes to meet him. She gets shocked to see that Yansuk was sleeping, but our handsome hero manages the situation by saying that Yansuk works a lot. He gets tired after working overtime at night. He takes Yansuk's mom to a store, where Yansuk's mom feels very strange, because she has never been to such an expensive restaurant. She explains to him how she double shifts and sends money to Yansuk, and after so many troubles, he is able to come here. But the fate of our hero, Basco, is sitting somewhere and listening to them, with which he misunderstands by mistake. He thinks that the handsome Yansuk is bullying the fat Yansuk, and he is taking advantage of his mom. He is taking advantage of his mom's poverty by taking money from her. After seeing all this, Basco gets very angry. Obviously, even I would have been angry if I had misunderstood. After this, Basco takes Yansuk for a one-on-one battle, where he beats Yansuk a lot, but eventually our hero is very powerful. He beats Basco in one punch. He leaves Basco with Bumji. The next day, Basco goes to the fat Yansuk and apologizes, and tells him that you are powerful. You do training. After listening to this, our fat Yansuk starts training, and while training, a very beautiful girl comes in the middle, who offers her a protein drink. The next day, Yansuk saves Took from being bullied by a student, which doesn't matter to Took. Then, Jeong finds out that next day is Yansuk's birthday, and in the store, that beautiful girl comes back. And the next day, Took tells Yansuk why he doesn't want to be Yansuk's friend. Yansuk is very sad about this. Our Jae-hong, the rich kid, is very impressed by Yansuk, and in his birthday gift, he gives him a lot of clothes and shoes. Because of this, his classmates' plan flops, who are going to bully Yansuk for his dirty clothes and shoes. Our hero is not poor anymore, at least in appearance and in wearing, and when asked, he says that a very special friend of his has gifted him all this. Here we find out that Duke is our rapper, who gets rejected just because he doesn't see anything special. After that, Took goes to school and sees a poster of a talent show. He decides to go to the poster. After hearing this, Vincent bullies Duke in the cafeteria, and he also makes fun of his application form. And after that, our hero helps Jay and Voss, and Vincent has to run away from that place, like an unusual dog. After that, Voss asks Voss to fight with his hero again, but he stops him from doing so. And after that, Duke and our hero decide to participate in the competition. After that, Duke calls him to his house. It seems that Yansuk will judge him, but that doesn't happen. Instead, Yansuk starts cleaning his house. They both practice together, and they understand that if Duke's rapping and his beautiful voice work together, then they will definitely win the competition. And Vincent's record label has written lyrics for Vincent from world-class singers. And Yansuk was practicing the song in both his bodies. And one day, when he was practicing in the other body, then that beautiful girl comes to him again, which gives him the medicine to correct his voice, and also compliments him. The day of the show finally arrived, and Daniel was feeling very anxious about his performance. But Daekpa encouraged him to stay calm and confident. Having spotted Sion, he rushed to greet her, but she took him for a perv since she didn't recognize him in this other body. When Daniel tried to convince her that he had no bad intentions towards her, her bodyguard suddenly grabbed him, but he shook off his grip. The man perceived it as a hostile reaction and an invitation for a fight, so he launched a straight kick at Daniel. But he defended himself with his arms. However, it was a feint as the man swiftly changed tactics and delivered a powerful sidekick to Daniel's head, immediately knocking him to the ground. Coughing, the guard prepared to deliver a finishing blow, but Soo-young urged him to stop. Yet he refused, saying he was ordered to annihilate anyone who tried to touch her. But Basco arrived, calling himself Daniel's friend and threatening to beat up the guard. In a split second, the man punched Basco in the face, but he remained unfazed despite being injured, demanding that the guard removed his glasses so they could fight fairly. But Soo-young stepped in before it escalated further and eventually departed with him, leaving Basco and Daniel alone. Basco fell to his knees, groaning in pain and realizing he wasn't strong enough to defeat the man in a fight. As they sat together, he offered Daniel a drink and apologized for their earlier misunderstandings. As the show finally began, Halban took the stage for his performance, thrilling the crowd with his fantastic song. In the backstage, Daniel was very nervous. Soo-young advised him to imagine singing for someone he deeply loved, telling him it would help in calming his nerves. After they appeared on the stage, the crowd was amazed by Daniel's appearance, but the host made fun of Daekpa, saying he looked like a completely different specimen, and that brought laughter from the audience. As it was finally time to sing, Daniel took a deep breath, gazing at the crowd, but he was shocked by his terrible sound. Halban laughed at him, saying he sang like a goat, and the crowd's excitement began to wane. But Daekpa stepped up and took the microphone. He began delivering incredible lines that boosted Daniel's confidence, awakening his inner spirit and leaving the audience awed by their amazing performance. At the end of the show, they were named winners, and Halban couldn't help but recognize the differences in their talents. So his producer left him, offering to work with Daniel and giving out his business card, apologizing for not recognizing their talents during the audition. When the Akpa thanked him for his kind words, the man told him the opportunity was being offered to Daniel alone, saying he was too fat and ugly to work with. So Daniel declined the offer, unwilling to work with a man that acts like a total dick. Meanwhile, inside a mansion, Soo-young watched the talent show, wondering how Daniel knew the song she'd heard the fatso singing at the store. After the show, she looked at a fat girl sleeping by her side. Her own body set your heart ablaze,